Today I'm changing our format because I want to share with you some excerpts from Henry Nouwen's book entitled Life Signs. Think on this. We are fearful people. The more people I come to know and the more I come to know people, the more I am overwhelmed by the negative power of fear. It often seems that fear has invaded every part of our being to such a degree that we no longer know what a life without fear would feel like. There always seems to be something to fear, something within us or around us, something close or far away, something visible or invisible, something in ourselves and others or in God. There never seems to be a totally fear-free moment. When we think, talk, act, or react, fear always seems to be there, an omnipresent force that we cannot shake off. Often fear has penetrated our inner self so deeply that it controls, whether we know it or not, most of our choices and decisions. In many, often very subtle ways, fear victimizes and controls us. Fear can make us upset and angry. It can drive us into depression and death. Fear becomes so intolerable that we are willing to do anything to be relieved from it, even kill ourselves. But why are we so terribly afraid? Why is it so hard to find fearless people? Would there be so much fear if it was not useful to somebody? I have raised these questions ever since I became conscious of the gripping fear in myself and others. Gradually, I began to see the simple fact that those I feared had a great power over me. Those who made me afraid could always make me do what they wanted me to do. People are afraid for many reasons. But I am convinced that the close connection between power and fear deserves special attention. So much power is wielded by instilling fear in people and keeping them afraid. There are so many fearful children, students, patients, employees, parents, ministers, and believers. Nearly always a threatening figure stands behind them and holds them under control. Fear is one of the most effective weapons in the hands of those who seek to control us. As long as we're kept in fear, we can be made to act, speak, and even think as slaves. The agenda of our world, the issues and items that fill our newspapers and newscasts, is an agenda of fear and power. It is amazing, yes, even frightening to see how easily that agenda becomes ours. The things and people we think about, worry about, reflect upon, prepare ourselves for, and spend time and energy on are in large part determined by a world which seduces us into accepting its fearful questions. Look at the many if questions we raise. What am I going to do if I cannot find a spouse, a house, a job? What am I going to do if they fire me or I get sick, if an accident happens? What if my marriage does not work out? Fearful questions never lead to love-filled answers. Underneath every fearful question, many other fearful questions are hidden. Which questions guide our lives? Which questions do we make our own? Which questions deserve our undivided attention and full personal commitment? Finding the right questions is as crucial as finding the right answers. A careful look at the Gospels show that Jesus seldom accepted the questions posed to him. He exposed them as coming from the house of fear. Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? How often must I forgive my brother if he wrongs me? Is it against the law for a man to divorce his wife on any pretext whatsoever? To none of those questions did Jesus give a direct answer. He gently put them aside as questions emerging from false worries. They were raised out of a concern for prestige, influence, power, and control. They did not belong to the house of God. Therefore, Jesus always transformed the questions by his answers. He made the question new, and only then worthy of his response. Though we think of ourselves as followers of Jesus, we are often seduced by the fearful questions the world presents to us. Without fully realizing it, we become anxious, nervous, worrying people caught in the questions of survival, our own survival, the survival of our families, friends, and colleagues, the survival of our church, our country, and our world. Once these fearful survival questions become the guiding principles of our lives, we tend to dismiss words spoken by the house of love as unrealistic, romantic, sentimental, pious, or just useless. When love is offered as an alternative to fear, we say, yes, but that sounds beautiful, but. The but reveals how much we live in the grips of a world which calls Christians naive and raises realistic questions. Yes, but what if you grow old and there is nobody to help you? Yes, but if you lose your job and you have no money to take care of yourself and your family? Yes, but what if refugees come to this country by the millions and disrupt the ways we have been living for so long? Why is there no reason to fear any longer? Jesus himself answers this question succinctly when he approached his frightened disciples on the lake. It is I, do not be afraid. The house of love is a house of Christ, a place where we can think, speak, and act in the way of God, not in the way of a fear-filled world.